One of the titles of this is Keeping the Revolution Alive. I think the problem is that the revolution is not alive. It's not. If there's a revolution, it's a counter-revolution.
So what does social democrat mean to you?
Social Democrats is a group of people that actively try to make their community better through political and educational engagement. They're trying their best to live their values, whereas other political groups sometimes sell out for influence or money. These people don't have access to this money, so they don't ever forfeit their actual values.
On the impracticality question, I kind of have to return to the basic point I made earlier because I think it's important. You know, who transports any damn thing that moves? The workers, period. If something leaves a U.S. port, it leaves a U.S. port because U.S. port workers made it in the U.S. port, allowed it to leave a U.S. port. If we want something to stay in the United States or not to be shipped, we can make sure it doesn't leave the United States. But right now we're in such a state of disarray and lack of organization that we actually are allowing ourselves to take part in just about anything because we don't have the political will or the education to do the things we need to do. If we want to stop anything at all, we have the power to stop it. The question is, are we going to organize ourselves in order to manifest that power? Or are we going to continue to allow ourselves to act in complete disarray, to pretend that the people we should be talking to or asking are our Democratic politicians or some other politician? Or are we going to get to the dirty work of actually building and organizing so that when it comes time, we can shut down a port and say, no, it's not going to move. And that has happened in these times. As like there was, you know, we don't know the extent of the Oakland port shutdown, but we know that it happened and it was serious. It cost people serious money. So we can do these things. I think it's a matter of actually doing it. So, you know, at some high theoretical level, sure, we can debate, but I think at the end of the day, it's a matter of are we willing to do the work of getting into the unions, organizing the workers, and making shit go down.
People think that with the election of Barack Obama and with the election of Bill Clinton, that it's, you know, that liberals have won 6 of these last 7 elections. And we talk about how well Democrats have done in all these offices. And all the while, nobody has seen the deterioration of how not only has the Democratic Party moved rightward in all sorts of policy positions. Since 2010, they've lost over 900 legislative seats. They've lost governor's mansions. They've lost 65 members of the House of Representatives, 12 senators. And why does this matter? Because they are the lesser of two evils. Over and over again, these people are losing. And you had a national media and an established Democratic movement that just did this. Nothing's wrong, don't worry about it. You know? What good did that do for people?
How would you help the average person understand that Social Democrats are not a political party?
Well, if we're not a political party, we're not running candidates, and we're not making those compromises that you need to do that. And when people compromise on their own basic principles, it demoralizes people. It makes them think that nothing will ever get better. So we're not a political party in that sense. We are aspiring to be a movement where people can come and talk and we can relate to each other and we can find common ground on important issues. We may not agree with each and every one of those positions 100%, but there's enough agreement in common for it to make sense for us to work together.
Going into this primary season, you saw somebody calling himself a Democratic Socialist getting 43 to 46% of the vote in the Democratic primary, which is kind of amazing, you know. And Sanders was somebody that pulled me and a lot of people like me out of the woodwork and said, this probably isn't going to go anywhere, you know, he's going to get shut down. Sanders is going to get screwed out of primary wins. The media is going to block him out. They're going to discredit him. And of course, all these things happen if people were paying attention. The establishment Democrats had no interest in allowing someone like Sanders to win this primary because he couldn't win. That was the narrative, at least. But he ended up getting 46% of the vote. And, you know, regardless of your individual politics, somebody like him, to do that well, he wasn't taking corporate money. Getting money out of politics was his big thing, you know. And for him to do that well, that shows that there's some grassroots energy and there's a desire to push back. But the question is about how we channel it. And I think that's what's on everybody's mind right now. What do we do to get these people that not only supported Sanders, but some of the people that backed Trump, maybe voting for the first time in decades, or people that were looking at the presidential race that usually aren't active? How do we get all those people involved? And then get all these different organizations on the progressive left working in the political process together to prevent the next Trump or to revitalize the Democratic Party. And for me, the first place we look at is the 46% of people that aren't voting on a regular basis.
We have to look at those things to really bring forth the facts, because a lot of the political campaigning is done on personality, who you know, or my friend said, go for this person, as opposed to people looking at it for themselves. We have an underdeveloped populace that kind of thinks, it's rigged anyway. Well, the only reason it remains as someone in a rigged state is because the people are not applying their eyes and their intelligence to dealing with that. And it starts with first learning how it operates and learn what laws govern it, and making sure those who run for office operate within the context of that. And where policy doesn't serve our community or in our best interest, we have to do something to change it.
I think we need to start reaching out to people and get them more involved in electoral politics. It's not one of those things where we have to devote every single waking moment of our lives to it. Campaign seasons last a month or two, unless you're running a presidential campaign. It's just about making sure that you and your friends are registered to vote, getting them out to vote. We have party committees that are all over each town, city, county, in the state. So, if you're a registered member of, let's say, the Democratic, Working Families, or Green parties, each of those parties can use people that are on their state committees or on their county committees. Especially if you're a member of the Democratic Party, we can use people that are really progressive and that aren't just placeholders. But if we keep saying the process is corrupted and it's terrible and it's never going to change, then it's never going to change. That's the self-talk we're giving ourselves. It says feedback. Imagine waking up in the morning, looking in the mirror and saying, well, I'm freaking ugly today, I look like crap, might as well not, do anything to take care of myself.
I just have a comment, because what you talked about democracy and how it is being done in the United States and so on, and I think it's a history in the United States that only a relatively small percentage of people actually do vote. And that was there a law all the time. I mean, it was not like they would ever get close to 95% people actually go to vote, right? So I think there's something missing, a strong education in democracy, understanding what democracy means and that it is a privilege, not a duty to go to vote.
In order to get people more involved in the electoral politics and in the activism, we just need to reach more people. So it's my hope as the Liberty Union Progressives are growing, and all of our organizations, that we're working together as much as we can to start reaching out to people that they're not voting. They're voting irregularly. People that just generally don't pay attention, and we go to their doors. We make phone calls to these people and to see who we can reach out to and pull them in, and to see which people just really don't want anything to do with it.
The work is not done. It really is not done, and we have to keep on going, and we have to fight for what we believe in, because the system is manipulated and it's only going to get worse, as we've seen with the Trump election.
Okay, is there any last words you would like to share before we go?
Keep trying, keep learning, and never stop fighting.